If this is her debut novel, she needs to be president.
I don't want to read ever again.
Yes, he did fall for a married woman, but he never acted on it.
This could have been an email.
This is romance. Why would I leave my house? Is this going to be my favorite book of the year? Hey everyone, welcome back to another day of Bookmas. In today's video, I am going to be reading 200 pages every day for a week. I've seen these videos circling around the last few years and I always thought they were so fun because it's more of a challenge video. Yeah, you might be able to read 200 pages easily on a day when you're trying to finish a book or you're binging a book because you love it, but 200 pages every day for a week? That seems crazy. And that is exactly why we're going to do it. Try to do it. Now, I just got back from the US. I'm back in the Netherlands and I am experiencing jet lag. My body is confused. Could not fall asleep last night even though I was exhausted. So I did actually get a few pages in this morning around 1 a.m. But other than that, I might be screwed. I might be failing this challenge on day one. It is already 3 p.m. I still have a little bit more work to do. It will probably take me about an hour and then I need to sit down and hammer out over 150 pages. I read 40 pages of Quicksilver early this morning. I started on page 284 and I am now on page 324. So I've read 40 pages and I've got 160 to go. My thoughts on Quicksilver. I'm 54% through with it and it is a long book and I don't know what I'm going to think of this book. Fantasy books are such a hit or miss with me. Either I'm hooked right away or I want to DNF it, but I push through thinking it will get better and then it never gets better. I feel like I just need something to happen between the main characters because right now I don't see how they're going to fall in love. And I honestly don't even like the male main character. Kingfisher is his name. It's Enemies to Lovers, which is kind of what drew me in and someone recommended me this book. But I don't know. Anyway, I'll update you guys later tonight if I read 200 pages. I'm making myself read 200 pages and hopefully I will be feeling better about this book by then. I just hit the 100 page mark. It's 8:28 p.m. This is going to be harder than I thought. I need to start getting up earlier and reading at least 100 pages in the morning. Also, I don't think this book is helping. I'm bored. I don't really care about the story, but I'm 65% into it, 63% into it, and I just keep thinking it's going to get better, but obviously it's not if I don't care, and I'm already more than halfway through with it. But I'm going to keep reading it. I'll update you guys when I finish my 200 pages for day one. Just got that on video. What? Just got your toilet flush.
You know I never put too much pressure on you. That's not my nature.
I did it. I'm on page 484, so I've officially read 200 pages today, and it is 10:28 p.m. It was a close call, but we did it, and I will mentally prepare myself for day two. The book's a little bit better. I don't know, there was like a big fight scene, and so things were tense for a while. Still not my favorite book ever, but I do want to finish it. Good night.
I don't wanna call you later. You're tearing my heart up like it's paper, and somehow you turn to a stranger. We used to work, now I'm trying to make sure that
I'm back in my spot. Guys, I said I wasn't gonna do what I did last night and read most of my pages at the end of the night, but here we are. It is 9:19 and I've only read 65 pages today. So we've got some work to do. I can definitely get it done. I just don't want to read Quicksilver anymore, but I'm in too deep and I have to finish it at this point. I don't like Quicksilver. Last night I got excited because I stopped reading on a cliffhanger and I did enjoy that part of the story. But now, as I've been reading a little more today, it is trying too hard to be ACOTAR and it's failing miserably. We've got enemies to lovers. We've got
male main character with nightmares. I'm like, okay, I see what you're trying to do here, but it's not working for me. Too many tropes in here, and it just feels like a little cheesy, a little silly. And also, I love when a fantasy series like mentions something at the beginning of the series and like calls back to it a few times, and then finally like at the end of the book or later in the series, that thing that was mentioned earlier on, like, and it was mentioned enough times for you to remember it. I love when that thing comes into play, and maybe something like that will happen here, probably not. But what I'm noticing in this book is that magic will just appear out of nowhere. Like something will happen and then boom, 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 this and this happened and it was fixed. Or, oh, we forgot to mention about this curse and blah, blah, blah. Like, it just keeps adding stuff on top of it. And I'm like, none of this was foreshadowed, and you guys are just making stuff up now because you can. Because it's fantasy. You can make stuff up, but it needs to make sense, and it's not making sense. Like, not because I'm dumb, but the magic system isn't well built, and I get it. It's the first book, so maybe this will be like the first ACOTAR book where it's obviously not as good as the rest of the series, but right now it's a no for me, dog. So let me shut up and go finish my book because I need to wrap this up and I need to get my pages in before midnight. I'm here again over explaining what I mean. I just feel like a solution to a problem 90% into the book that we've never known could be a solution is a cop-out. And I know I can't even be talking trash because it's not like I've read the most beautiful, like, high fantasy books ever. Like, some of my favorites are literally ACOTAR and Fourth Wing, but the math isn't mathing here. Like, it just feels like we keep adding new stuff. And I get it's gonna be part of a series, so I don't know, maybe that will play into the rest of the series, but I will not be sticking around to find out. Also, I'm here alone reading because Sam went to a Halloween party that I was invited to, but that I chose not to attend because why would I leave my house? Also, I'm tired from traveling this week. I've done 2 international trips back to the US twice in 1 month, so I will be here if anybody needs me, reading my book and not socializing. Dream date.
Both on the same page. I don't wanna.
I finished Quicksilver. Thank God. I am on a time crunch. I still have 81 pages to read. It's 10:11, so I will update you on my final thoughts on this book tomorrow, but it's not looking good. Okay, I'm about to jump back into another book that I'm in the middle of, and I will tell you guys more about it tomorrow, but for now I need to lock in to hit my page count. I am not waiting until the last minute tomorrow. Mark my words. I really should not be updating you guys again because I need to read, but I'm sure I will get my 200 pages in time. I am reading The Best Worst Thing by Lauren Oakey. Guys, this book is so good. I'm giggling. The banter is so good. I think it's going to be 5 stars. It's just so witty. The characters are just messing around with each other, back and forth, like flirting with each other, but you know, kind of joking with them. And I love that. There's nothing I love more than flirting in a book. Like when you can tell characters are flirting with each other, but they don't want to come out and say it because they're so nervous around the other person. I love romance. It's reminding me of an Emily Henry novel, and like obviously this author has her own voice, but that's how good this book is to me right now. That's how I can tell you guys how much I love it, is compare it to Emily Henry, because if you know me, you know I love Emily Henry. I'm screaming. This book is so good. Goodbye. I just giggled out loud. This book makes me so happy. I'm reading you all of the funny moments tomorrow when I have more time and when I don't look like this. Is this going to be my favorite book of the year? 27% into it, by the way. Okay, so bad news, I failed. But only by 8 minutes. I just finished my 200 pages. It is 12:08 a.m. So technically I didn't finish my 200 pages before the clock struck midnight, but I was close. And also I didn't go to bed yet, so it's still day 2 technically, until you go to sleep. I was very distracted tonight while I was laying here. Kept going on my phone, kept checking if I went viral on TikTok yet so I could move to Hollywood. That didn't happen, but kept checking every few minutes. Those are my excuses. I could have locked in, got this done, but I didn't, and I failed by 8 minutes. This is a challenge video, and it's hard. Can you tell I'm like delirious right now? I don't know what's going on. I need to go to bed. The reason why I didn't get the last, I don't know, how many pages did I just read there? Like 80 pages done in time, is because I'm genuinely loving this book and I'm soaking it in. I am rereading sentences, I'm highlighting things, and with Quicksilver, I was not doing that. I was like, next. Like, I was reading it straight through. I wasn't thinking much about it because I was over it. But with this book, I don't want to binge it. I want to, well, I do want to binge it, but also take it in thoroughly. Does any of this make sense? Literally shut up, Maddie. I've vlogged so much today. I could have read my last remaining pages faster in that book, but I didn't want to. And I want to talk about how I was really giddy and happy 30 minutes ago, and then a little conflict worked its way into the plot of this book, and now I'm upset again. But it's okay. It is still the early stages of this romance book. I'm on page 167, and that is 42% through the book. So I'm hopeful, okay? I'm hopeful things are going to work out the way I want them to. I've already followed the author on Instagram. That's another reason why I didn't get this done in time, is because I was stalking her page and I was preparing myself to message her that I love her book, even though I'm not even halfway through with it. Goodbye. Hey everyone, it's day 3 of reading 200 pages every day for a week, and I succeeded today. I finished reading my 200 pages right at 10:50 p.m. I actually read 202 pages. I did not give you any reading updates at all today because last night when I was doing that, it was eating away at so much of my time, and I honestly think if I had not vlogged so much last night, I would have finished right on time.
Whoops, I was supposed to be recording on my mic right here. I have so many updates, but maybe I'll just do a few and then the rest tomorrow. My final review of Quicksilver. Boring. That was the most ACOTAR wannabe book ever, with just every trope under the sun thrown in. Will not be reading the second book. I enjoyed it for a while there in the beginning, but like I said, everything just spun out of control and it just became a little ridiculous, and the solution to everything was ridiculous and somehow still boring. I was going to read you the summary of The Best Worst Thing because that was the romance book I was reading last night, but I'm gonna save that for tomorrow. But what I came to update you about today is that I actually started a new book instead of continuing that one, because Sam was actually borrowing my Kindle to read Assassin's Blade because he's reading the Throne of Glass series, and I actually purchased that book a while ago before I DNF'd the series. And he has a Kindle of his own, but since I already bought it on mine, I was like, we'll just trade Kindles and I'll read something on Kindle Unlimited, you know, anything to save $1. So I actually picked up a thriller that I've had my eye on for a while now. It's called Stillhouse Lake, and I read 202 pages of it, and I'm 70% through with it. And it's really good. It has my attention. It's a little bit scary. This thriller follows Gwen and her 2 kids. Gwen is on the run with her children. They are starting over in this small town because a few years prior, she found out that her husband was a serial killer. And she obviously had no idea. She was not involved in it whatsoever. So he's in prison. They are constantly on the run because some of his victims' family members are out to get his family, even though his children obviously had nothing to do with it. And they finally settle down in a small town and things are looking good. And then a body shows up in the lake. And that's all I will say because that's all that was on the back of the book. But it is really interesting. It has captured my attention, and honestly, I think I'm going to sit down and finish it tomorrow. I want to finish it right now, but it's getting late and I need to get up early and read tomorrow. So that way this cycle of me staying up and reading late ends tonight. This is also part of a thriller series. I don't really read that many thriller series. The only one I can think of is the Mind F series and Good Girls Guide to Murder. If I like this, I'm obviously going to continue the series, and I'm loving it so far. I will update you guys on it. I'll probably finish it tomorrow and then switch back to The Best Worst Thing. Sorry for all the confusion. Good night.
We've come so far, so we should stay a while. Just take it slow. Focus on you and I. So much to do.
It's day 4 of this challenge, and I actually have a good number of my pages done for the day. I think I have about 50 more pages to read, and it's 6:21.
so I'm killing it. I woke up this morning and I sat down and I read around 100 pages, I think. Oh my god, I just saw my reflection, my arm move in the window. And I thought someone was coming for me. This is what reading thrillers does to me. I finished Still House Lake this morning and it was such a good thriller. I would give it 4 stars. It was so fast paced. It was high stakes. It was intense. I was scared. I would just say it's not 5 stars because even though it felt like a lot was happening, when you look back at it, not much actually happened. Like, it was just the lead up to something crazy. I mean, as all thrillers are. But I think we got even a little bit less action in this thriller because it is part of a series. The story is ongoing, you know. It is a strong 4-star read though, and I would highly recommend it. I actually started the second book when we were at the library this afternoon because we were in the area and got a coffee and then stopped into the library and read a little bit. And I read 1 chapter of the second book and I'm definitely going to read it, but for now I'm going back to The Best Worst Thing. Because Sam is playing video games all night and I want to read this romance book. He doesn't need my Kindle anymore. So let me read you the summary of The Best Worst Thing. This is a long summary on Goodreads. From a stunning new voice in romance, Lauren Oakey's The Best Worst Thing is an intimate story about starting over, second chances, and 2 people who cannot help falling into each other's orbit once again. All things considered, Nicole Speyer has a pretty amazing life. At least that's what she tells herself. She's got a beautiful house, a relatively successful fertility podcast, and a perfect husband, Gabe. The only thing that's less than ideal is her years-long struggle with infertility and how, with every passing day, she and Gabe seem to drift a little further apart. But then, mere hours after a Hail Mary embryo transferred to her gestational carrier, Nicole discovers Gabe's been sleeping with their dog walker, and her world turns upside down. Suddenly, a jobless, childless, and now husbandless Nicole finds herself at the doorstep of somebody she tried to say goodbye to a long time ago. Logan Milgram, a former colleague with serious golden retriever energy who happens to be laugh out loud funny, a colossal nerd, and legitimately kind of hot. When Logan opens his door that night, it's like no time has passed. And as they fall back into each other's lives, Nicole starts recognizing herself in the mirror again. She even begins to like what she sees. And then, like a cruel joke, she gets the news that she spent a lifetime waiting for. Her surrogate is finally pregnant. As her relationship with Logan develops from a blast from the past fling into something much deeper, Nicole struggles to balance her past, present, and future. Racing against the clock, she must learn to forgive her body for falling short and recognize that sometimes it's the biggest betrayals in life that set us free. With everything on the line, can Nicole accept love from the greatest man she's ever known, even if it's nothing like the story she'd written for herself? So the whole idea of this book, has this been focused the whole time? I'm gonna freak out. Whoa, that is a bright light. I can't tell if this is focused or not. Okay, so that summary basically told you the entire story, but I felt like it was important to read because this is a romance, but it deals with some heavier topics like infertility and loss, and it really does add so much more emotion to the story. It's an emotional romance love story.
Switching to the mic because my neighbor is absolutely stomping around upstairs. Take off your shoes. Okay, so the whole idea of this book is kind of interesting. And it may not work for some people, but it's working for me. So obviously her husband, Gabe, the one that cheated on her, is a piece of garbage, right? But the fact that the romance is with someone she was friends with and flirted with a little bit while she was still married or engaged to Gabe, you would think that would feel a little icky, right? But it doesn't, knowing that Gabe was essentially cheating on her this whole time. It's just weird that she runs back to Logan the second she finds out Gabe's a cheater, because it's not like her and Logan were ever dating. Nothing ever happened between them, as far as I know, which I really don't think anything happened between them. I think they were just really good friends. So, I mean, I guess that makes sense for her to run to him. It doesn't feel icky in that sense. And I just wanted to say that because some people may be like, wait a minute, I don't like how this is a second chance romance when she was married. But I promise you, it is working. Anyway, her and Logan's interactions and banter, I was squealing over their banter the other night, as you saw. And it just feels like they're falling in love for the first time, which they are, but with each other. And Nicole's learning that obviously her whole marriage with Gabe was a scam and she doesn't really know what true love is. And her husband Gabe, she would give him all of her favorite books for him to read, and he never read them. They just sat on his bedside table. But when she starts talking to Logan again, they like go over to his house or something, and he has all of the books she recommended him, and he read them and like tore them apart. You're joking. You're joking. This man has always loved you, and he never crossed boundaries. He never made a move on her because he knew about Gabe, but he always knew something was there. And Nicole just obviously didn't feed into that because she was a married woman. So let me read you some of the banter I've been loving.
Okay, if my camera's not running out of storage, then it's my battery dying. It is genuinely one thing after the other. Clearly, I have no real problems if this is the thing that's gonna drive me over the edge. Sorry, I did indeed have to eat dinner first. And I'm sorry I keep using this angle. This is the worst backdrop, and the lighting is the best it's gonna get, because now that it gets dark at 4 p.m., I like filming right here in front of my reading light because my reading light is actually the best ring light. This is the setup. Got 2 pillows stacked on top of each other, and that's my reading light. So here are some of the banter moments that I'm loving. Also, these are all quotes from the book, so if you don't want any spoilers at all, skip to this time frame. I mean, can you really spoil a romance book? I don't think so. They're talking about how Logan likes to run, and this is what he says. The trick, he said as he reached for his drink, then pulled the half and half out of the fridge, is to save up enough intrusive thoughts that you never get bored. Also, foam rolling. So what about you? He said. Why do you run? I don't know, really. I guess by the end of it, I just want to feel like I've had the shit kicked out of me. Logan smirked, then took a long sip of coffee. Funny, he said. That's exactly why I go on dates. Nicole laughed. Logan laughed. And then, for the rest of the day, they barely looked at each other because they're nervous around each other. Am I okay? Okay, and then I'm going to read this, but I'll probably just put it on the screen as well because it's not going to make sense because of punctuation and parentheses. By the time Logan and Nicole were standing outside her car, it was nearly midnight. The navy sky, still dull, still dreamy. They'd said their goodbyes 20 minutes ago, but there were other things to discuss, like dim sum and duck hunt, and what Logan had thought of 3 nights in August, in parentheses, F the Cubs, normal people, in parentheses, F that whole year in Sweden, and bridge to Terabithia. F you for making me read that again. Nicole could have done this forever. And I love this because the author is showing us that they are book lovers instead of doing what a lot of new romance books do these days, is they tell us. And they tell us in the most cringy way, like the main character's inner thoughts, like, I'm such a nerd, I'm a bookish person, like I love my bookish life. Which now that I think about it, I would probably say something like that. But you know what I mean? Like when it comes across as like artificial, because authors know that like being a book lover is trendy these days because of BookTok and BookTube and like the resurface of reading. And don't get me wrong, like I don't really care because I also am a book lover and use it if you want. If that's what's gonna make your book go viral, I don't know. Throw a bookish quote in there. It just doesn't work for me all the time and it sometimes feels too cringy, but the author is including these bookish moments in here in the perfect way. And with all of their little interactions that I'm going to keep reading, you can see that they like each other. Like they're not telling us that they like the other person, we can see it. Is there a way to go to everything you highlighted on your Kindle, click on the quote, and then go back to all of your highlights instead of scrolling all the way back to the top? Reader problems. Okay, and then they go to this place called the Tar Pits in LA, and I guess it's just this kind of exhibit, I don't know, natural tar pit kind of thing, and also like a zoo exhibit with animals. I don't know, I really don't know. Something to do with fossils. It's not something that Nicole would normally do. Logan says, I'm sorry, are you bored? Are you complaining about our adventure? Would you like to find a nice tree to sit under and read? And she says, is that an option? Logan poked her with the pointy edge of a brochure about the Ice Age. Open your mind. Try one new thing. Sorry, Nicole said. It's just, I hate it. And then they're talking about their past relationships. Well, Logan is, because I think Nicole has only been with Gabe. He says, there was Danielle. He was just telling her like it was nothing. All she had to do was ask. We were together for almost 3 years. We broke up like 4 years ago. Since then, there was Andrea. That lasted 9 or 10 months.
And then what? Nicole was fiddling with a glossy pamphlet. She studied the schedule of live excavations. If they hurried, they could catch the 3 o'clock at the observation pit. You killed them? That's exactly right. Logan pointed at a pulsing bubble of tar a few yards away. It gurgled right on cue. That over there is Lena. They'll never find her. And then this is a random sentence that I love. The buzzy silences she kind of wished she could bottle up and save for later. And then he's still talking about Andrea because Nicole is asking, like, no, tell me what your last girlfriend was like. You know, pretty smart. He wiped his sunglasses with his shirt and then looked right at her. Oh, and I almost forgot. She didn't talk back. They're just so quick with it. Like, they're being a little bit sassy but not rude, you know? They get each other. They have the same sense of humor, and I think that is very important. You need to find someone with the same sense of humor and can joke around with, because life isn't that serious. And then I like this sentence too. Nicole nodded. They were just sitting there, boiling on that bench. Full sun, 101 degrees, nothing left to drink or eat or see or do. Their bodies damp and hot and tired. Their little outing quite obviously coming to its natural end. And still, they lingered. From time to time, Nicole would roll over, smile at a dumb text from Logan, and send one right back. Apparently, he was spending the day with his friends, glitchless speedrunning Kirby's Adventure, whatever that meant. And she texted him this. Are your buddies local children that you babysit, or do you legitimately know other men your age who share your interests? And then he responded, the thing about dorks is we stick together, mostly for gaming purposes, but also because it wards off jocks, gutter clowns, and other Stephen King-like threats. Okay, and then they're watching Pride and Prejudice. Logan knows, like, it's her favorite movie ever. And he says, how many times have you seen this movie exactly? Just like a really small, reasonable number. She reached over him for an Oreo. Like, whatever that number is in your head, it's right around there. Logan smirked. So twice? And she says, a month? Oh my god, this is the best part. I want to kiss you, Nicole, Logan said. Her whole body jolted. You know that, right? She nodded. Every inch of her seized, and she just nodded. I had a feeling, yeah. She pressed her foot against his a little harder. He pressed back. You just tell me when, then. Okay. He smiled at her, and she smiled back. And then they just sat there, eating junk food, making small talk, watching Mr. Darcy get the girl with their souls intertwined. I love this writing. I love it so much. Okay, and then he's about to go out of town for work or something, and they're still hanging out, but like nothing has happened. They're still very much in the friend zone. And he comes over to her house with coffee one morning and is like, bye, I'll see you later. I'm going out of town for a week. And I love this. Like, I love a callback to an earlier joke in the book when, you know, you keep the joke rolling. And he says, well, I better go, eyeing his watch. Promise you won't go to the tar pits without me? Because she hated the tar pits. Oh, that is hilarious. Maybe I'm the only one laughing. I don't really care. Oh my gosh, this part. This part is a prime example of like showing, not telling. I guess they're talking about his job or something, about how he always has to travel. And he says, I love what I do, sure, but I don't know if I love my job anymore. Doesn't it feel good though? Doing something big, having somewhere to be besides here? Not lately. He said not lately because he wants to be with her all the time these days. He doesn't like having a job anymore because he wants to spend every waking minute with Nicole. And he said it in like such a subtle way. This is romance. Me. I love how it's showing and not telling. Me telling you everything that's romantic as if you clearly can't see it. What am I gonna do when this book's over? I like don't want to read it because I don't want it to be over. I need to find out if this author has another book out. There's no way this is her debut novel. It's too good. If this is her debut novel, she needs to be president. Okay, and that's all I'll share for now because I'm sure there will be 3,000 more things I want to say. I will update you guys when I finish my page count for the night. Now that I just geeked out over these quotes for the last 30 minutes, I'm running behind again suddenly. She got him an ant farm. An ant farm made her think of him. Oh, she pulled back. I almost forgot. I got you the dumbest thing ever. It made me think of you. Did it now? It's 4:45.
It should not be dark outside. Hey guys, I am on day 5 of this challenge and I read 127 pages this morning to finish The Best Worst Thing by Lauren Oakey, and I read some of the acknowledgements, so I'm counting those pages. When I love a book, I always read the acknowledgements because it just makes me so emotional hearing how hard they worked for this and everything that went into it, and them shouting out their family and friends. Like, the empath in me is crying, and I actually did cry at the acknowledgements because, well, I don't know if I said earlier, this story feels so real. It feels like she's actually been through the struggles in this book, and in the acknowledgements she confirmed that. She was like, I went through this and so forth, and so it makes me just like even more sad for her. This is her debut novel, and like, I'm just in awe. I think this is my favorite book of the whole year, and that's saying something because I read Great Big Beautiful Life this year by Emily Henry. Emily Henry is my favorite author, and obviously, yeah, you don't need to compare books like that, but when I look back at this year, this is the book that I'm going to think of in my year of reading. With that being said, it's 5 stars, it's 6 stars, it's a new favorite of mine, and I'm so scared for other people to read it because I posted on my Goodreads and my Instagram story, my Bookstagram, how much I love this book. All of my social media links are down below, and 3 people that follow me on Goodreads that saw my review added it to their want to read list. I'm just like, if you hate it, you better lie, and if you hate it, you're wrong. I tagged the author on my Instagram story and I was like, I've read 95 books this year and this is my favorite, and she responded and she was so sweet. So I'm definitely reading her next novel. I think she has another romance coming out in June. I went on NetGalley and it's not available to request on there yet, but when it is, I'm gonna be requesting that book right away. I think it's called Trope Sick. Sorry, this is not supposed to be a book review video. This is just supposed to be me reading 200 pages a day, but I'm finding amazing books in this video, besides Quicksilver. Let me yap about the book a little bit more, and then I'm done. The rest of the night, I will just show a clip that confirms I read 200 pages and talk about more tomorrow. Also, this video is gonna be so long already. I don't know how long this vlog is going to be. And also, I'm so sad that you guys aren't going to see this video until December. Nobody's gonna know how much I love this book until then. Okay, so I think I said last night how there are bookish elements to this book and they're not cringy. This was part of like Nicole's declaration of love for Logan at the end. So again, I guess skip to this time frame if you don't want to hear spoilers at all. I love your stupid face and your stupid hair and your stupid jokes. And I love how you have always seen the best in me, and I love every single inch of our impossible, absurd, definitely in need of an editor love story. That's precious. I don't care that it won't be perfect, that it won't be just so, that it won't look exactly like I thought it would when I was little. I don't care if it's the biggest mess anyone this side of the Missouri River has ever seen. It'll be ours, and we will find our way. I was made for you, Logan Milgram, 3D printed. You're all I see, all the time, every night. When I close my eyes, it's you. In the morning, you. And I don't know how I missed it before, but I swear to God, I'll never miss it again. I also like how she mentioned a 3D printer because that was their little like inside joke earlier in the story. And I just love when jokes and themes continue throughout the whole story. It makes it feel even more real. How many times have I said that? It's just so real. It's not. It's literally a fictional story. This is the earlier quote where they were talking about the 3D printer. I think they were at a wedding and she was worried about meeting his friends. My friends are going to love you, okay? Trust me. Half these people are from Grand Rapids, Michigan. They're even nicer than me. I know, I just feel like a liar. Like I can't tell anyone here who I am or what I do or what my life really looks like. You could, he said, and maybe a few people would think it was weird for like 3 minutes, and then they'd get to know you and they'd think you were great. And also that you were literally 3D printed for me, and they wouldn't care. Their declarations of love for each other were amazing, but I do want to say this book is like very messy. It's kind of, okay, not messy, but it's very back and forth because there are huge factors in Nicole's life that are making her hesitant to be in a relationship right now. And I don't blame her. Like, it's kind of like Happy Place. Everybody hated Happy Place for the miscommunication, but I didn't hate the miscommunication. Like, I didn't think it was a miscommunication. I thought it was so much bigger than that because of everything that was going on in Wynn and Harriet's lives. And I think this is another example of the miscommunication didn't piss me off because there's so much more to the story. And I understand that, like, back and forth, third act breakup, it makes sense. It's not a silly miscommunication. I mean, yes, Nicole handled it very poorly, but can you blame the girl? She's been through so much. They'd written a love story and she saw him in every word, and there wasn't a line of prose on this planet another author could have ever penned that'd be dense or dreamy or dreadful enough to drown out their own. You're kidding, right? That's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. And when they weren't together a few years ago in the past, when they were just co-workers, I don't know how much of the story I've explained. Just read the book at this point. Obviously, I think I said that Logan never crossed the line, and they didn't. That's true throughout the book. So there's no cheating for the actual main characters, just the side character, the main character's trash ex-husband. He cheats. That's literally in the summary of the book. But Logan and Nicole never cheated while she was still married. So don't let that stop you from reading this book. But when she quits her job and they're no longer co-workers, she's telling him goodbye, and he says, I hope you get everything you want. Like, he's just a good guy. Green flags all around. Yes, he did fall for a married woman, but he never acted on it. I haven't even gotten to Logan's declaration of love for Nicole, but you know what? Just read the book at this point. I will update you guys later. 5 stars. Go read it.
Saw your silhouette in the backlight. Swear we could have met in a past life. Treating every night like the last time. So I end all my days with you. Yeah, we should share a backseat in a taxi to get home. No need for either of us at this point to sleep alone. 'Cause I don't.
It is day 6 of doing this stupid challenge, and I didn't update you guys all day because I'm over it. I don't want to read ever again. I am a mood reader, and I only want to read when I feel like reading, so I don't know if I'll ever do this again. Which is weird because most days I do read. Okay, that's a lie. Some days I do read 200 pages a day. I just don't do that every single day forever, you know? Anyway, it is 10:25 p.m. Got my 200 pages in right at 10, and I started If It Makes You Happy by Julia Olivia last night, and I didn't talk about it at all. It is a fall rom-com that takes place in 1997. Honestly, I'm kind of bored by it, but that could just be because I'm over reading. It is a long romance book. It is 500 pages. Everybody's been raving about it, and yeah, it's cute, but it's nothing special right now, and I'm halfway through with it. I'm on page 273, so don't know if this is going to be for me, but I also could just be burnt out. See you guys tomorrow for the last day of this challenge. Good night. It is the last day of this challenge, and I just read 100 more pages of If It Makes You Happy. I'm 75% through with it, and I'm DNFing it. You couldn't pay me to care right now. I don't know what's wrong with me. I mean, I know. I know a lot of things that are wrong with me. Like, I really don't think it's the book. No, Maddie, don't even kid yourself. It's a combination of the book being boring and me just being burnt out from reading that are making me despise this book the more I read it, so I need to put it down. I honestly don't think I'll ever finish it, so I'm declaring this an official DNF. The idea of it was cute, but genuinely it was way too long, and nothing was happening. There's almost no plot in here, which is fine if you want that. Like, if you're here for just like good vibes, good fall vibes and no plot, here. And guys, I really wanted to like it because everybody I follow on BookTok and BookTube, they've loved it. So I know I'm the problem. Like, did you guys actually like this book? Are you guys being serious right now? It's not bad, but there's nothing that is making it stand out from any other contemporary fiction I've ever read. Maybe I'm just in a reading slump because I finished a new favorite book of mine just yesterday. Or was that 2 days ago? I don't know. Time isn't real. Time isn't real anymore when you're filming a challenge reading video. I went on to Goodreads to see if anybody I knew gave this book a lower rating, like 2 or 3 stars. And no, genuinely every single person I follow gave this 4.5 stars or higher. But there are lower reviews in there. Like, other people definitely agree with me. And my favorite review that I saw was, "This could have been an email." I'm sorry, I can't even talk bad about a book if I didn't even finish it. So I'm done. I'm done talking. I think I'm going to pick up the second book in that thriller series I was reading earlier in the week. The first one was Stillhouse Lake, and the second one is Kilman Creek. I'm going to read 100 more pages of this, and then we can officially declare this challenge over, and I'm never doing it again. And just like that, guys, I finished my final day of this challenge. I read 100 pages of Kilman Creek and I'm 34% into it. Pretty good so far. A lot more action in this one. Reading this is kind of like watching Criminal Minds. I did almost fall asleep while I was reading. The last 40 pages, I was laying on my side and Sam was like, that's not a good reading position if you're trying to complete this challenge, because my eyes were getting heavy for a minute there and I was cutting it close again. It's 11:18. Just wanted to let you guys know I did it, and I will give you one last final update tomorrow and wrap up my thoughts on this challenge. I think you guys already know how I feel.
This challenge is done. We are never doing this again unless you guys want me to. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're still here, you know, it wasn't a complete wash, even though I was really miserable at the end of this challenge and didn't get enough sleep. I still found a 5-star read in a book I will talk about until the end of time. If you guys enjoyed this, you know what to do. Give this video a big thumbs up, comment down below, good job, Maddie. I'm serious, please. I need that because this video took a lot out of me. And subscribe down below if you like my content, because I will be posting the first 12 days of December for Bookmas. And after that is over, I will go back to my normal schedule of posting a bookish video once a week. Go read The Best Worst Thing, and I'll see you tomorrow for another day of Bookmas. Bye!